Becerra.
It's really hard to like Becerra, who takes money from big oil.
I can't afford for a politician to take a side bribe just so that I can pay a higher energy fee.
Becerra is not our guy.
Can you fix the problems in California? You think Tom Steyer can?
About him being a billionaire as long as he puts my rent down.
Can you believe the Mega Millions jackpot's getting even higher?
Can you believe we don't have tickets yet?
The bigger, better Mega Millions. Today's jackpot is now over $300 million. Play today.
When a serious injury from a truck accident pauses your life, your accident attorneys at Sweet James help you move forward. Call now for a free case review.
Right now at Ashley Stars and Stripes sale. Save up to $1,000 store-wide. Plus get 0% interest for 60 months. That's 5 full years interest-free. Only at Ashley Stars and Stripes sale. Going on now. Shop more Stars and Stripes deals in store or at ashley.com.
Decision 2026 is here. As the road to November takes shape, NBC4 is tracking the races, the issues, and what happens next. We have live team coverage from the IE to the OC and LA Metro to Long Beach. This is NBC4 News.
Right now at 3, it's a critical day for the future of California as voters decide who they want in our leadership at the state, county, and city level. NBC4 is a place for everything you need to know. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. The polls opened at 7 this morning, and the clock is counting down to when they close at 8 tonight. More than 23 million registered voters are set to make their voices heard. One of the big races on the ballot, Mayor of Los Angeles. The 3 major candidates that voters are considering are incumbent Mayor Karen Bass, Councilmember Nithya Raman, and Republican Spencer Pratt. NBC4's Robert Kovacic breaks down the race that could impact the future of the city.
It happened only once.
Our doubleheader debate kicks off right now with the race for LA mayor.
Facing off 4 weeks ago, the top 3 polling candidates who want to lead the nation's second largest city.
And so I have been fighting to hire more officers. No matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl.
My ideas, which are based on real results in my district, which are based on real data.
Sharing the same stage for their first and only televised debate.
Here on NBC4 and Telemundo 52.
That night, we gave voters a chance to meet the top contenders. Now it's decision day. A candidate who wins 50% or more of the vote in this nonpartisan primary wins the election outright. But polls anticipate a November runoff between the first and second place finishers. And those polls suggest of the 18 candidates on the ballot, the race comes down to these 3. In alphabetical order,
Going all around the city, encouraging people to get those ballots in.
Mayor Karen Bass, seeking re-election. The 72-year-old Democrat is the city's first woman to hold the office.
That's why I am running for mayor.
Former reality TV star Spencer Pratt lost his home in the Palisades fire. The 42-year-old Republican is in his first campaign for public office.
Vote for change on Tuesday.
LA City Council member Nithya Raman represents District 4, stretching from Silver Lake to Sherman Oaks. The 44-year-old Democrat was re-elected to council in 2024. Sure, this is a municipal election, but the nation is watching, and so is the world. In 2 years, the mayor of Los Angeles will welcome thousands upon thousands of athletes and millions of spectators for the 2028 Olympics, which organizers vow will be unmatched.
But as we think about the games overall, this is going to be the biggest games ever.
The winner of this election, while tackling current challenges and while overseeing an annual $14 billion budget, must also look to the future when LA returns to the Olympic spotlight and the pressure for the city to shine for the 3rd time.
And we're also watching the battle for California governor. The latest polls show Javier Becerra in the lead. Our Lolita Lopez is covering his plans for the big night.
The stage is set in downtown Los Angeles and a party atmosphere expected for the frontrunner in the governor's race, Javier Becerra. Becerra is already in LA and spending time with family, including his wife, 3 daughters, and his son-in-law before arriving at the event location to watch the results come in. The former congressman, cabinet member under President Biden and Attorney General of California says he will rely on decades of experience to lead the state if elected.
And the other Democrat topping the polls is billionaire Tom Steyer. He kicked off primary Tuesday by riding the Metro D line and had a final message to voters.
This state is unaffordable, and there's a reason for it. And that is that corporate special interests are driving up costs. And I would say, look, we can't change that unless we're willing to take on the corporate special interests.
And tonight, Steyer plans to watch the results come in from a watch party in San Francisco. Our Camila Rambaldi traveled to be there with him. She'll join us with a live update on the NBC4 News coming up here at 4. Well, the third top candidate in this race is a Republican. We're talking about Steve Hilton. NBC4's Hedy Chang is live in Huntington Beach with a look at his plans for the big day. Hedy.
Well, Annabelle, I can certainly tell you what Steve Hilton expects for the night. He expects this election watch party to turn into a victory party for himself, his campaign, his supporters, his family and friends to all be watching the results roll in here. Take a look at this ballroom in Huntington Beach. The stage is set. They're doing the speaker checks, the mic checks. They're doing the blowing up the balloons here and the decor. Hilton has talked a lot about affordability in California, and so too have the other candidates, something we can all relate to living here. One of Hilton's campaign slogans, making California Californable. And this one too, change is coming. Now, yesterday I had a chance to sit down with Mr. Hilton to talk about his priorities if he becomes the first Republican governor in California in 16 years. How bipartisan can you be in a deeply blue state? And what are the policies where you see yourself parting with your party?
Well, let's look on the optimistic side and see where there may be a good opportunity for cooperation. I'll start with something that's really the top of my list of priorities, which is to help with the massively expensive life that people have in California, the cost of living. The quickest way we can put more money in people's pockets is to take less out. In other words, to take less away in taxes. So the first part of my tax plan is your first 100 grand tax-free. So if you earn up to 100 grand, you don't pay any state income tax on that. Right now, we've got people earning between about 70 grand and 100 grand. Really, it's not a big earning level in California, given how expensive everything is.
Yeah, Hilton also wants to remove regulations to allow for more housing. He wants $3 gas in California, and he also wants to clear out homeless encampments. These are all priorities that he hopes resonates with voters as we are now just a few hours away from the polls closing. We're live in Huntington Beach. Hedy Chang, NBC4 News.
All right, exciting day, Hedy. Thank you so much for that. And remember, the NBCLA app has your complete voter's guide, from breaking down the candidates to the propositions and where to vote. And stay with us for continuing live coverage all day long. We'll bring you the latest on the races live in our newscast, plus real-time results when the polls close tonight. And our live election night coverage begins tonight at 8 p.m. on the NBC Los Angeles News Channel. Coming up today, voters are deciding the future of California, and Republicans are polling well in key races. Still ahead, Corinne Rankin, the chair of the California Republican Party, will join us for a conversation about how she's feeling before the polls close. And we're breaking down some of the key issues, from a marijuana tax to a state tax, the major props and measures voters are weighing.
We're checking out this live picture of LAX. We're looking at mostly sunny skies, temperatures